Hey everybody, Vega here. Thank you for stopping by. If you've just watched my video on the problem with American politics, I'm pretty sure that the solution is fairly obvious. We all need to stop participating in this partisan culture war. It does not serve or further the interest of us, the American people. In fact, it's exactly what is allowing this consolidation of power to continue to hijack our country. Now, I understand that asking people to walk away from their deeply held political beliefs, it's no small thing. But please, hear me out. One of the most character-defining lessons that I took from my time in the U.S. Army can be summed up in one phrase: do the right thing. As individuals, we each have an inner sense of what is right and what is wrong, what's fair and what's unfair. And that's what I'm appealing to right now. So what we see from the 24-hour news cycle, that's not effective governance. Trump or Hillary's guilt or innocence will not fix the problems in our country. But that's most of what we hear about. Shutting down your political opponent on social media, it may feel good, but it should be viewed as deeply unpatriotic. The widening political divide in our country is quickly becoming a national security crisis all of its own. Our government, it can't even pass a budget to fund itself anymore. There has to be a better way. Maybe not perfect, but certainly better. Now, despite this huge political divide, I think most American citizens, we want the same things on a huge array of issues. The reason we can't get these done is kind of the underlying problem with all societies in general, and something I'm going to address frequently. That's our imperfection as humans. We're flawed, both as individuals and as groups. And we keep trying to find the right way to get along because we all agree that civilization and modern society is better than the unspeakable horror and the tragic loss that comes from the breakdown of civil discourse. But we've learned this lesson as a society. Our countrymen, they've already paid this price. Go to a Civil War reenactment. Those are supposed to remind us of what happens when civil discourse stops and brother turns on brother. Yet once again, here we are at each other's throats, and only with hindsight are the flashpoints to major violence obvious. Why would we continue to choose this path? This isn't a movie or video game. It's our loved ones that will die. It's our children that'll have to bear the trauma and the scars if civil discourse stops again. But I think America was built to turn on a dime, relatively speaking. Your choices as a citizen are the real power in this country. You don't have to be defined or manipulated by any ideology. It's time for us all to step up and to become better citizens. We need to recommit ourselves to America and not to a private political organization that has demonstrated that they're not looking out for our best interests. The lesser of two evils, it's just not good enough anymore. As Americans, we all have to recognize our Constitution, it's only as strong as the bond between the people that it represents. Every time you stick it to some Republic clan, or you shut down some libtard, you're desecrating the sacrifices of generations of patriots. I know, I'm guilty of it too. But do we really need another civil war to pull our country back together again? Hasn't that price already been paid? Isn't it possible that the grievances on both sides are in some ways valid? The strawman characters that each side creates of the other, they're not accurate. They don't represent 99% of either side of the party. Extremists on both sides do not represent the majority of people. But that's what the two major parties would have us believe. When an extremist on either side does something outrageous, and they try to accuse everyone on that side of the aisle of endorsing those actions or whatever the speech was, that's not fair. Remember that do the right thing? Does that make sense to you? So I know it's easy to say don't engage in partisanship, but what does that really look like? Well, here's a couple of ideas. A big part of propaganda are lies of omission. It's what they don't tell you. So to break out of our bubbles, pick a pundit on the opposite side. Someone that you never would have watched previously and start watching their show. See what is your side purposely leaving out. Now, it's going to be uncomfortable, but it's not nearly as bad as having to give your life for your country. So if you consider yourself a patriot, stop whining and step up. This is how we take back our country. Another idea, if any pundit that you're watching is telling you to hate or to blame other American citizens for the problems in your life or in our country, stop listening to them. If they refer to the loony left or the deplorable right, they're trying to direct your anger to other citizens who are struggling just like you. Citizens that you have way more in common with than party leaders on either side of the aisle. That pundit, he's force-feeding you a narrative. Find another news source. What you give your attention to, it matters. Another idea, stop forwarding political memes or participating in online fights. Leave it to the bots and the Russian trolls. What you do and how you act it matters. What you focus on and what you share online is what our politics end up focusing on. The reason it carries so much weight is our vote. That's the only true power within our country. The founding fathers, they ensured that the power, it stays with us, with we the people, and not them the politicians, not them the pundits, and not them the special interest groups. And you personally, as a citizen, you owe it to those who've given your lives to this great country to become a part of the solution. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it insightful. You'll stick around. I hope you'll consider sharing it. And I hope you have a nice day. Thank you.